Belize's population estimate at mid-September stood at approximately 361,000 people, a little over half being of working age. As of last check, there were close to 18,500 men and women jobless, while 134,521 are employed in various capacities. According to the latest labor force survey conducted by the Statistical Institute of Belize, it represents an improvement, comparatively speaking.
Of the working age population, we have two sections that are important to realize. We have two parts, this particular group of people, the people in the labor force and people not in the labor force. And of almost equal importance, people not in the labor force, of course, are like people like students, housewives, retired disabled persons. And people in the labor force, well, those are the people that are either employed or unemployed persons. Unemployed persons, we estimate at about 18,479 persons are unemployed, according to our definitions. And the employed population, which are full-time or part-time workers, odd jobs which you catch and kill, as somebody would say, they are estimated at 134,521 persons. So relatively small kinds of numbers to deal with.
Of those numbers, a majority of employed persons are working in Belize district, while Toledo records the least amount of workers.
We estimate about 64.3% of the working age population are in fact in the labor force. And so you notice there's a high, about 70% of the Belize working age population are in the labor force, and there's a low in Toledo with only about 55% or so of the working age population in the labor force. And so there's a variety of people who are actually in the labor force and subject for carrying the burden of economics in this country.
While the working class is responsible for carrying that burden, the economic outlook is that the level of economic activity increased by 4.8% during the months of July to September.
Up to this month of October, Belize has bought goods totaling $1.64 billion. This represents an increase of 80.6 million, or 5.2%, with respect to the same period of last year. According to the Standard International Trade Classification categories, we had decreases almost throughout all of them, with the exception of the CFZ, commercial free zones, which was down by 21.5 million when you compare the 10 months to last year, and manufactured goods, which were down by 7 million.
In terms of inflation rates during the last quarter, the lowest is in Corozal district. Those figures are also placed in the regional context.
And if you look closely, you will see Corozal town reflecting the lowest inflation rate of 0.1%, followed by Dangrigo of 0.4%. Then we have Belize City at 0.5%. We have Orange Walk Town and Belmopan recording the same inflation rate of 0.7%. Then we have Punta Gorda Town reflecting a 1.3%, and San Ignacio 1.6%. Now we'll be looking at inflation rate in the region. We have Jamaica at 8.2%. Then we have Dominica there by 2.9%. And closer to home, we have Guatemala at 3.6%. We have Honduras at 6.3%. We have El Salvador at 1.9%. We have Nicaragua at 6.6%, Costa Rica at 5.7%, and Panama at 2.1%.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isana Caetano.